Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Michelle the Dorky Reader. Today's video I'm going to be doing a book haul. I've got, I believe it's 21 books to share with you guys and I can't wait to tell you all about them. So let's begin. Okay, the first book I'm going to talk about is She and Her Cat. This is, I'm guessing, translated from Japanese, the author being Makoto Shinkai and Naruki Nagakawa. Yeah. Anyway, this is a story. What was that pulled me to this book? A life-affirming book following women and their cats in their quest for love and connection, based on the award-winning short film by world-renowned anime director Makoto Shinkai. I don't think I've ever watched that. I should. But I feel like this is supposedly in the perspective of the cats, and it kind of gives them a voice in a way as they're watching these women navigate love and life. And so there's some humor to it, but it's also supposed to be pretty meaningful. Also, look how tiny it is. So on a whim, I could just pick this up. And I could probably read this in like a day if I ever wanted to, which I really need more books like that in my life. So there's one. I also picked up Of Mice and Men, which I read a long time ago, but I wanted to have a copy because I know that at some point during my daughter's middle school and high school career, she's going to be required to read this book anyway. And I just remember it being very moving and emotional and devastating and beautiful. It was a really well-written book. That's why it's a classic, obviously. So I got this really cute little yellow cloth-bound edition that I thought was super cute. And it's very small and pocket size, but I think this is a great little addition to my library. Okay, another one I got is Star of the Morning by Lynn Kurland. I don't know if you've ever heard me mention well, I'm sure if you've watched my other videos, you might have heard me mention a book called The White Spell. That is a book that I really, really enjoyed. However, the beginning of that whole world series is this book right here. And I guess it goes in like 3 book groupings. So this is a completely different character and she's book 1. And book 1s through 3 are, you know, the romance of her and someone else. And then books 4 through 6 are a different group. And then 7 through, 9 are one. And then that one I believe is like 10 through 12. So the one that I like, The White Spell. So I wanted to go back because I felt like there were things missing that I should have known based on reading the previous books. So I bought, well, I didn't spend that much. It was at the used bookstore, but I found the Star of the Morning by Lynn Kurland. So I'm looking forward to reading it and then hopefully getting to where, sorry if it wiggled, it's on this really wiggly stand. Looking forward to getting to this world and figuring it all out. It was surprising to me because she's in this romance section, but I remember that book feeling like way more than just a romance. Like it was a magical adventure. So anyway, I'm putting that over here. The next book is a random book I found at at a little library outside of my kids' school, and it's called The Mystery of the Clockwork Sparrow. And it sounds kind of delightful and charming, like 2 kind of prim and proper Victorian ladies solving some kind of crime. And it seemed easy to read and fast, and I don't know, there's just something very charming about this cover with the little silhouettes in the windows. And I thought, why not give it a go? So I got this one for free, which is always really exciting. Okay, another book I got is Mouse. With all the books that have been banned and are, considering being pulled from public libraries and things in the capital, it kind of had me worried a little bit about the future of some of these books that are out there. And I wanted to make sure that my collection at home had some of these titles just, to make me feel a little bit better about things. This, of course, is The Complete Mouse, which is a comic version, a graphic novel of, World War II and all the happenings there. It was the winner of a Pulitzer Prize, which is pretty impressive for a comic. And it's a very you know, disturbing truth that needs to be told. So I wanted a copy of it and I got one. So Neener Nanner. And along those lines, I also got a few other books. I got The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, which, believe it or not, I haven't read. I read Mouse, but I have not read The Diary of a Young Girl. I think part of that was me always being, I have an aversion to crying over things. I don't want to cry. As a kid especially, I never wanted to read anything sad or tragic. So I think as an adult, I'm more ready for that now, because I feel like this story is probably going to put me to my knees. Like, I'm going to just be devastated, especially because I have children now, and a young girl going through all that she went through is just like, whoa. But anyway, I look forward to reading this. I really do. So this will hopefully be on a future TBR soon, because I haven't read it yet, and that's impressive. And two other little books here that I got along the same vein. Persepolis. I have Persepolis 2 and Persepolis. And obviously this is the story of a young Iranian girl, and it's the story of her childhood as she navigates, was it a civil or a revolution that took place in Iran. I have read this a long time ago when it first came out. I need to reread it because some of the details are fleeting in my mind, but I remember seeing the drawings. I mean, it's another one of those, like, just like Mouse, where it's, you know, in comic format. So it can really reach a younger audience too. Like my daughter, if she were to read it, it might make history a little bit more accessible. But anyway, I also I love the artwork. I love the story, or the reality. I don't love the reality. You know what I mean. It's a really wonderful gift to the world. Okay. Next, books. Let me see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Woo! Here we go. Let's see what else I got. I also got Lord of the Flies, which is a book that I have read multiple times. I really love the book, but I never owned a copy. And I saw this cover at the store at Barnes & Noble's, and I thought, this is the most, like, it really captures that chaotic feeling of, you know, like that really, it's like, what is the word I'm looking for? That carnal, wild, just feeling. It was a really great image. So whoever designed this cover, bravo. Anyway, it's by William Golding. It's a fantastic book. If you haven't read it before, you really should. It's one of those classics that really, really stands the test of time. See, I get things scrambled in my head. Anyway, it's fantastic. Definitely highly recommend. Okay. Another book I got at the store was recommended to me by this is on the same day I bought Lord of the Flies. One of the cashiers that works at Barnes & Noble, he's so friendly and kind, and he's always willing to talk about books with me. Bless him, even though I'm like this old lady. But he's really just super charming and nice, and I was talking to him about how, like, you know, I was looking through all their kind of, there was this big stand of books that were classics or something that were great award-winning or whatever, I don't know. Some kind of recommended books section, and this was in it. And I was saying how a lot of the books, he's like, oh, you know, I don't want to feel too sad and devastated. I need something a little bit more lighthearted. And then I looked at the cover and I said, what's this? And he said, oh, that's hilarious. It's funny. It's like a book about animals, but for adults. So it's 3 Bags Full by Lenny Swan. Is it Lenny Swan or Leonie? I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. And it's a sheep detective story. So these 3 sheep, or these characters anyway, they are solving a crime together, and it is supposed to be quite funny. And so I not only got that, I was a sucker and bought the sequel. I'm hoping that I like the first one, but the way he made it sounded perfect. like super charming. So I got also Big Bad Wool by the same author, which I believe is book 2. So yay me, I've got these cute little books for my collection and I can't wait to read them. Okay, let's see, what else have I got here? I'll start with this one. Okay, The Floating World by Axie O. This one was a cover sold me. The cover sold me. Not because, okay, this cover, the art is beautiful, but the cover itself isn't like, wow, that's the most beautiful book cover I ever saw. But I do love the drawings. And the way this picture just made my imagination spin. Like, what is going on back here with this floating city or this mountain city with the waterfalls, and then these two attractive characters up front, one with like a mask up here, so she's obviously some kind of, I don't know if she's an assassin or what, but I'm excited to find out, basically. And it's by Axie O, who also wrote The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. And it says here, if I had wings, would you steal them? He glanced up. Her face was turned from him. She didn't stop, but continued to walk along the fountain's rim. Spray dewed to the top of her head, catching in her hair like stars. And he knew she meant her question as a jest, yet he gave it a serious thought. They'd completed one turn of the fountain before he answered. If you had wings, he said, with all the sincerity he possessed, I'd want to see you fly. And I think, oh my gosh, like, that sounds really romantic. That's a really wonderful thing to say. And I'm excited to find out about all this. Oh, yes. Anyway, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. And I'm looking forward to reading this one. Okay, and next one. I found this one in a free library. The one that usually, I feel like someone is giving me all their book of the month picks. Because every time I go to that library, not every time, but maybe every other week or so I'll go there and there'll be another book of the month book there. So this is Mexican Gothic, which I think was more popular last year or the year before. I can't remember. And I never got around to reading it. So I'm excited. This is by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And let's see here. After receiving a frantic letter from her newlywed cousin, Noemi Taboada heads to a high place, a distant house on the Mexican countryside, unsure what she will find. Noemi is an unlikely rescuer. She's a glamorous debutante, more suited to cocktail parties than amateur sleuthing, but she's also tough, smart, and not afraid, not of her cousin's New English husband, a stranger who is both menacing and alluring. So this is going to be some kind of a dark mystery. And I believe with the title Mexican Gothic, it'll have kind of Gothic undertones. So I'm looking forward to this. This might be a good one. I feel like not quite fall, but like late summer heading into fall. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Because like Gothic-y stuff gives me kind of, fall vibes. But then the fact that this is going to be kind of in a Mexican world, Mexico being hotter than where I'm at. And I just feel like that might give that kind of September feel. So I might save this one for September, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm glad I got it for free. Thanks, whoever you are, leaving those books. She's always leaving books. I don't know what it is. Anyway. Okay, next. Another book I got was Until We Shatter. And I believe this is my Illumicrate book that I got. And with it, I got the whole box. It was my first time ever opening an Illumicrate box, because I'd never ordered myself anything like that before. And inside the box, there were all sorts of goodies, but my favorite was this book cover, which I'm using right now to read my current book. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I love this thing. It feels so squishy and nice. And if I were to read something that was scandalous, I could easily cover it up with this and no one would know. I need to get something like this for my friends, so we can go and read scandalous books together in public. Anyway, Until We Shatter, it's about the church would see her killed for having any magic. The Council of Shades wants her dead for not having enough. So when her mother falls ill, Semi has no, or is it Chemi? That's a really hard word, like C-E-M-M-Y. Is that Chemi or Semi? I'm going to go with Chemi. Chemi has no choice but to turn thief, and when she's offered a job that could solve all her problems, it's impossible to resist. The catch? Chemi will have to work with Chase, beautiful, dangerous, and full of secrets, to steal a powerful relic the church has hidden within a deadly realm of shadows. If she succeed, Chemi will finally be safe, but if she's caught, she risks igniting a spark that could destroy the city and everyone inside. Also, it has lots of cute images here on the cover because it's one of those special edition things. And look at all the romantic pairings. There's so many. I cannot wait to see who I like most. But anyway, I believe this girl is Chemi, and this is her, because on the back, it's them that you see. So they're probably the main pair. But anyway, I'm looking forward to reading this book. I'm going to close this up. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, stop. So there's my first Illumicrate book ever, and I really love it. Okay, dun, da, da, da. Another book I got because it's so popular right now. Though usually it's got this blue cover with like pillars on it. This is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I was going to say Islington, but I'm going to make it like an Islington. I hope that's right. But anyway, everyone says this book is fantastic, so I broke down and bought it, and I can't wait to read it. It's a chunk, though, so it might take me a while to get into because I'm in the middle of some chunky series, so bear with me. However, I feel like the image in this, like when I saw the first cover, I really imagined kind of like this Greek world or whatever. Like, and maybe that's true, like from based on the background. However, there's like a giant floating cube. Like, what the hell? There's gotta be something sci-fi or definitely very fantasy-ish about this, and I'm very curious to find out what that is. Okay, next. Dun, da, da, da. I'll do this one. Okay, so this is called The City of Lost Chances. And I remember getting this book specifically because a YouTuber recommended it. So I found the paperback version and I'm looking forward to it. City of Lost Chances. I feel like the hardcover version of this book is so gorgeous, but I believe like it's harder to get and it was really expensive, like 50 or 60 bucks or something stupid online. So it's like, no, we're just getting a paperback. But the cover is really interesting. And I believe this is going to be a very political heavy, like politic heavy, kind of war torn, you know, that kind of a story. So it's going to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to be a light read, but it'll be a good one, according to my sources. Okay, another book I got because it sounded so interesting. Both of these are by the same author. It's by Emily J. Taylor. I have Hotel Magnifique and The Otherwhere Post. This one is the one I'm looking forward to most. I guess it's about, let's see here, 7 years ago, Mauve Abernethy lost everything. Her world, her father, even her name, and desperate to escape the stain of her father's crimes, she lives under a fake name, never staying in one place long enough to put down roots. Then she receives a mysterious letter with 4 impossible words. Your father was innocent. To uncover the truth, she poses as an apprentice for the Otherwhere Post, where she'll be trained in the art of scriptomancy, the dangerous magic that allows couriers to enchant letters and deliver them to other worlds. But looking into her father's past draws more attention than she's planned, and her secretive, infuriatingly handsome mentor knows she's lying about her identity, and time is running out. To convince him to trust her, okay. Commas. Anyway, where she begins to receive threatening letters warning her to drop her investigation, or else. For Mauve to unravel the mystery of what happened 7 years ago, she may have to forfeit her life. I thought that sounded really interesting. I like this idea of a magic that helps you write letters or some kind of written word into other lands, like into other worlds. It sounded really cool. And the other one is Hotel Magnifique, which, barely scraping by with a job at a tannery, she's resigned to a dreary life in the port town of Dirk, caring for her younger sister Zoza. That is until the legendary Hotel Magnifique appears in town. This is about Janie, because I always do that. When they put, like, they start the paragraph up here in separate words, I always start just reading this stuff, and then I skip the very important first few words. But anyway, Hotel Magnifique is famous for its astonishing enchantments, especially its ability to travel the world, arriving at a new destination each midnight. Janie and Zoza seize their chance to join the hotel staff, and they're soon swept up in a world of sparkling chandeliers and impossible magic. But it's not long before Janie discovers that beneath its marvelous glamour, the hotel is hiding dangerous secrets. With a vexingly handsome doorman, oh my gosh, not these handsome guys, Belle as her only ally, Janie embarks on a mission to unravel the mystery of the magic at the heart of the hotel and free Zoza and the other staff from the cruelty of the ruthless maitre d'. To succeed, she'll have to risk everything she loves, but failure would mean a fate far worse than never returning home. See, I think these plots are really exciting and interesting. Both of them called to me, and so I thought, why the hell not? They are, I believe, YA, so they should be easier reads, and I like that kind of thing. I need that. I have too many adult books in my life. And, you know, I hear a lot of YouTubers say how much they don't like YA books, but really, I think they're fine. So long as they're not sleazy YA books, then I'm all right. Okay, so here we go. I don't know which one's first. I believe it's Cursed, but I could be wrong. There's Gilded and there's Cursed. And I got these two books because Marissa Meyer wrote them. And I'm totally on a Marissa Meyer, like, kick. After reading Cinder and Scarlet, I'm like, okay, I want to read more of her YAs. This is awesome. This is so much fun. And I've heard really good things about Renegade, which I do own a copy of. And then I thought, I don't have these ones either. I should get these and try these out too. So hopefully I like one of those two series as much as I liked the Lunar Chronicles so far. But yeah, I think this is going to be really exciting. I like her writing style. Is Gilded first? Gilded is first. It says praised for Gilded on the back of this one. That's how I know. So she grabbed a fresh bobbin and started over, forcing the straw through. Please, she said again, pushing another strand in, then another. Please, her voice broke, and the tears started. Tears she hardly known were waiting to be released until they all flooded forward at once. She hunched forward, clutching the useless straw in her fists, and sobbed. That one word stuck on her tongue, whispered to no one but the cell walls and the locked door and this awful castle full of awful ghosts and demons and monsters. Please. What are you doing to that poor spinning wheel? Cyrilda screamed and tumbled off the stool. She landed on the ground with a bewildered grunt, one shoulder smacking the stone wall. She looked up, pushing away the strands of hair that had fallen into her face and stuck to her damp cheek. There was a figure sitting on top of the pile of straw, cross-legged, peering at her with mild curiosity. A man, or a boy about her age, she guessed, with reddish hair that hung in wild tangles to his shoulders, and a face that was covered in both freckles and dirt. She looked past him to the door, still shut tight. How did you get in here? She stammered, pushing herself upright, and the boy cocked his head and said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, magic. I love that. Sorry if it took a long time to ramble through that, but it's going to be, I guess, a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. I had to think of the name. I should have been in that story since I didn't know the name. But anyway, yes, sounds fantastic. Can't wait to read it. And the last book I got was, of course, The Butcher's Masquerade. I have to have all of them. I'm going to have all of them. As they are released, they will be mine. And I will be reading more Dungeon Crawler Carl soon. He is so fun. Anyway, look at this thing. This is his biggest one yet, I think. And the cover's so great. Look at Princess Donut. She looks so fabulous. She's such a star. She's got some sunglasses on in this one. I wonder if she gets a pair of sunglasses, and I haven't read that yet. So exciting. And as you can see, here's Carl. He's still in his underwear. But he's got some really sweet spiky kneecaps. Okay. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to read it. I hope you enjoyed my book haul. It was insane. I know I'm insane. I'm sorry. I have so many books. What is wrong with me? Oh, well. It is what it is. Let me just pull these here for one last shot of these. Oh, my gosh. Bonk. Here I am with my babies. My book babies. And anyway, let me know if you've read any of these books, if you like any of these books. If you think, man, you're dumb, why'd you buy that book? That book is terrible. Tell me, I'd love to hear it. And I guess that's that. Cheers. Bye.